3-minute time limit so that we can get through all of them. I also have 2 public comments that were submitted via email, and I don't know if those people are here, so I'm just going to see, because instead, if you wanted to speak, I mean, we can do it either way. But we have Lauren Leth, all right, and Ben McMillan. Okay, well, I will read those, and Tammy will be running our timer for us, so we will, we don't want to be disrespectful, but we want everybody to have a chance to speak. So, Lauren Leth, she's at 6420 Pollard Drive, and she wants to talk about the Valencia development. I live at 6420 Pollard, which is one of the 2 addresses that the new development will directly back up to. When we purchased this property a year and a half ago, we were told that there would be spacing between our back fence line and the new development. We also were told that we would have a retention pond sports park behind us, not homes. We are concerned with the new guidelines for foundation height that comes this close to our property line will negatively impact our home's ability to drain correctly. We currently raise animals and are on an agricultural exemption. The possibility of continued flooding could destroy the food source for our animals, grass. We would greatly appreciate the builder's consideration to make that part of the development a pond, park, etc. that would aid in drainage. Thank you. Next, we have a comment from Ben McMillan. He's at 6430 Pollard Drive. Strong concern about the change in planning about the neighborhood and drainage issues for our property. And now we have those of you who are in attendance. Mary Ann Atkinson. Good evening.
Hi. Good.
Thank you. That's all right. We'll tell your husband to turn it back on. Donald Atkinson.
Well, at least y'all know where I live anyhow. First of all, I'd like to talk about some of the lighting on Meridiana Parkway. Kind of been paying attention up and down that road since I travel a little more than I used to. Is the bridge right as you go up, it is not lit. But yet the one just west of Jordan is lit. Got nice lights, everything looks pretty in the mornings. I don't know who's responsible for that and maintaining the median and stuff because, well, our side of it gets mowed every 3 or 4 months where the other side is all groomed and looks pretty and everything. Further down to where towards the subdivision start. I know it's not a city problem, it's a developer problem or state problem, but if y'all could look into that for us, we would deeply appreciate it. And the second deal on the Family Planning Center, first of all, it needed to be called something different because that just raises a red flag to a lot of people's illogical thinking on some things and stuff, and they automatically think abortion clinic. Not everybody, but some do. So I think we need to find a way to make sure the property does not turn into that. And with the code I know that was given for approval for the ordinance, it can. Not saying that's what they're doing. They get big, they do great, they go to another building, bigger place, that place still can be. So take that into consideration. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. I do not want to slaughter your last name, Renee. So, I'm sorry? Arriaga. Okay.
Good evening, City Council members and Mayor. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak tonight. On behalf of myself and my team here, we thank you for that. I am Renee Arriaga, and I'm the Executive Director for Her Heart Pregnancy Help Center. And we are a tax-exempt 501c3 Christian organization. A little bit about my credentials. I've been a nurse for 33 years. I hold a doctorate degree in nursing, as well as being a family nurse practitioner for the last 18 years with full prescriptive authority. First of all, I would like to let the council know what our medical clinic will not do. We do not offer, recommend, or refer for abortions, abortifacients, or contraceptives. Instead, with the help from our national affiliates, Heartbeat International and NIFLA, which is the National Institute of Family Life Advocates, as well as our local churches that support us, we will offer life-affirming choices for clients to either parent or refer out for adoption by using the Love Approach method for client advocacy. The Love Approach consists of the L stands for listen and learn, the O is open options, V is add value and vision to her life, and the E is extend city resources and empower the young lady to make the best decision for herself and her family. Also, it's very important for us to not just go to church, but to be the church and to be the hands and feet of Jesus. And we are willing to share with each willing client the message of the gospel. Our mission is to protect lives by providing life-affirming options accompanied with love, hope, compassionate support, education, and excellent no-cost medical care. Our vision is to save lives and change eternal destinies, one pregnancy at a time, by serving as true servant leaders for Jesus Christ and bringing glory in all that we do. A list of physician-supervised medical care services that we will provide would be to offer free pregnancy tests, free limited ultrasounds, confirmation of pregnancy, limited prenatal care, referral to OB-GYN physicians and or the emergency room if necessary. We will be part of the abortion pill reversal network. We will offer post-abortion recovery Bible study, and we will give referrals out for STI, STD testing. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. And I have some handouts if you would like it.
Okay.
Can I give that to you?
Sure. All right, and Laura Moriano? Oh, well, that's some fancy swirly writing, yeah.
Also nerves, right? I'm like, okay, what is my name? I'm Laura, and it's nice to meet everyone. I just really appreciate the time to be here. Last time we had some passionate pro-life people, which we appreciate. We want y'all on our team. And we're just looking forward to serving women in our community. There's kind of a gap in the community with, we can say like, hey, you know, we're pro-life and all of these things, but what are we doing to walk alongside these women when they decide to keep their baby? And we are going to be here to do that. We're going to walk alongside them for hopefully years to come with diapers, baby showers. We can even refer them out for adoption, other things. You know, sometimes when you're in a situation, you need rental assistance or, you know, the well food pantry. that kind of thing. And so we can help be connectors to that. So we're looking forward to doing that. As far as the code, I know that was a concern, and it's a concern for our board as well. But after looking into it and speaking to our affiliates and everything, Pregnancy Counseling Center falls under family planning, unfortunately, and that's kind of like a trigger word for people. But that is really what describes us, a pregnancy counseling center. And so we apologize for the code. We didn't come up with it, though. So that was one thing. But also, when I spoke to NIFLA, they reassured me that a lot of abortion clinics are closing down, so the remote chance of an abortion clinic ever being able to use that zoning is probably slim to none. So that was reassuring a little bit for me because we were concerned about it as well. But I'm just looking forward to serving the women of this community, and I appreciate you guys, and thank you, Jessica, for all the work that you've done.
Thank you. All right. Yes, did you, come on up. Please state your name and address, and
I am Rodney Smith, Evangelist Rodney Smith. My address is 20210 Highway 6. I'm the owner of Blade Barber Studio. I welcome you. I'm not trying to offend anyone. The only thing I can do is give you my experience. I've been a black man for a long time. I've been through heartaches and pain. I've seen the Planned Parenthood, what your name is going under. But there has not been enough evidence, a surety of knowing after the opening of this business of not being an abortion. There has not been written anywhere that I've read, looking at the pages of what you gave. Neither have I heard anything. From where I came, I've seen again, I'm going to say it again, that what has happened to the community of the minority, I stand alone and I come to you through the Holy Ghost, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. I've seen it. I've seen the fathers. They did not even know about an abortion of the mate. I've felt the pain of some I have mentored through the years. I've seen the difference of the woman after this process have taken place. I've saw it from after they make the choices of abortion or adoption. I've saw it. I experienced it. After going through the program, what they call, because Planned Parenthood started off as a nonprofit organization helping pregnant women, diapers, and what have you, medication. And being said that as a woman doing what they was counseled to do, they have been on a lifelong, long road of medication. Some are oxycodone, and some are other medication, depression medication. I sympathize for the ones that are still going through it, and I even sympathize for the ones that have even committed suicide. I saw, I lived it, and I stand against what's wrong, what's going on right now.
All right.
And
Thank
so,
you, sir, we're going to need to,
please take this in consideration, please, before any kind of decision. And I still welcome you. I'm just standing for God, as you are.
thank you. All right, at this juncture, we have a public hearing to hear input from the public on an ordinance of the City of Manvel, Texas, amending the zoning ordinance of the city by amending the zoning classification of 21,000 square feet located at 7507 Masters Road, Manvel, Texas, from Light Commercial District, State Highway 6 Overlay District, LC SH6, with specific use permit, SUP, to Light Commercial District, State Highway 6 Overlay District, with specific use permit, LC SH6-SUP, providing for the granting of a specific use permit with conditions to authorize the use of property for NAICS use 621410 Family Planning Centers, providing for the amendment of the city's official zoning map, providing for severability, and providing a penalty in an amount not to exceed $2,000 for each day of violation of any provision hereof. I have a first call for anyone who would like to speak in addition to this public hearing. All right. Again, we initiate the 3-minute.
My name is Stephen Mann. I am an elder with the Church on Masters Road. And I just want you to know that the Church on Masters Road, this ministry has our full support, 100%. We have been, with them all along the way, making sure that this is an opportunity to serve the women in this community, knowing that as this community grows, this is only going to be a bigger challenge. As we find ourselves like any and every community, with unplanned pregnancies. We want this to be a life-affirming ministry that will serve the women of this community. Renee has done an amazing job. Just last week, she was at a conference that will just continue to strengthen what we're trying to do. And so we understand the challenges with the code as it's has a lot of things that could come in, but know that the Church on Masters Road is 100% in support of this, and we know that this is a needed ministry. That as this ministry is allowed to and will continue to flourish and serve and help the women in this community, I know that you'll see it that it will be just that. It will be something that is good for this community.
Thank you. All right, I have a second call for anyone who would like to speak to this public hearing. You sure can.
The term family planning has been hijacked because nurse practitioners help plan families every day. And it's not just abortion or contraceptions and those kind of things, but it's also natural family planning, teaching techniques for the woman to be more aware of her own body and how it works through education along with abstinence. So please don't get confused. I'm so sorry that unfortunately, we can't use the term family planning, but in that sense of the word, we're using it in a Christian aspect, and we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I have a third call for anyone who would like to speak to the public hearing. All right. Now we have the city manager's update.
Mayor and council members, I have a couple of items for you. As I do at every council meeting, I wanted to update you on the COVID numbers that we have from Brazoria County's website. From the last council meeting on the 21st to today, we have a total of 6,256 reported cases of COVID. That's up 25 from 2 weeks ago, or from the last council meeting. We have 16 confirmed cases. That's up 11 from the last council meeting. We have 2 probable cases, which is up 1 from the previous one. And we have 6,190 recovered cases. That's up 12 from the last council meeting. And then we've had 48 deaths from COVID-related. That's up 1 from the last council meeting. So as we said before, the numbers have gotten very, very small since the peaks, as with everybody else. Also, I wanted to let you know that we had a new police officer start today. We have 2 new employees that will be starting in 2 weeks on the 18th. One is the fire marshal and one is the city planner. And then we have 2 other applicants that are going through the physical and drug screen this week. One is for the code enforcement officer and one is a utility tech in utilities. So we have hired one. We got 2 more that are coming in the next 2 weeks, and then hopefully the other 2 will go through the requirements shortly, and they will come on board as well. So that's what I have for you today.
Thank you. All right, is this one of those times when we want to move the consent agenda and make it such that we don't have that looming over us? Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve, Mayor.
I'll second.
All those in favor? And the motion carries 7-0. Thank you very much. Just for you, Brad, just for you. Just, you walked in here and we knew it. Okay. All right, regular agenda is number 1, consideration and possible action to approve a final plat for Meridiana Detention. Number 2, we're going to group 1, 2, and 3. They are all pertaining to the same type of issue. Consideration and possible action to approve a final plat for Meridiana Detention Reserve Z, Phase 1. The first one was Detention Reserve Y. And this third one is to approve a final plat for Meridiana Section 30B. So,
And Jessica will be addressing these.
all right, Jessica meeting.
Okay.
Jessica Camp.
I'll try to keep this quick. Staff is not recommending approval of the 3 final plats before you. And all 3 final plats failed to get a favorable recommendation by Planning Development and Zoning Commission. Those vary from multiple items. With each plat, there being 13 reasons why with Reserve Y, 7 reasons for Reserve Z, Phase 1, and then also, 5 reasons on Section 30B. If you'd like me to go into detail for those reasons, I will, but I don't think you want me to, so I will not.
Okay.
I'll move to approve. I'll second that, Mayor.
All right, all those in favor? All those opposed? All right, we have a 0-7 vote on those 3 items. Number 4, consideration and possible action to direct staff to provide applicants written statements of the conditions for any conditional approvals and the reasons for disapproval of any plans or plats that were not approved per Texas Local Government Code 212.0091. Yes, sir.
And again, Jessica will be addressing this.
So this is the agenda item that permits staff, with your approval, to write any letter with a conditional approval or one that has not been approved, to report that back to the applicant per Texas Local Government Code for plating.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to provide said applicants with the written statements of conditions as stated by Jessica.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries 7-0. All right, number 5. Consideration and possible action to approve the first of 2 readings of ordinance 2022-0-10, an ordinance of the City of Manvel, Texas, amending the zoning ordinance of the city by amending the zoning classification of 21,000 square feet located at 7507 Masters Road, Manvel, Texas, from Light Commercial District State Highway 6 Overlay District, LC SH6, with specific use permit, SUP, to Light Commercial District State Highway 6 Overlay District, with specific use permit, LC/SH-SUP, providing for the granting of a specific use permit with conditions to authorize the use of property for NAICS use 621410 Family Planning Centers, providing for the amendment of the city's official zoning map, providing for severability, and providing a penalty in an amount not to exceed $2,000 for each day of violation.
Mayor, due to my nature of serving on the board and also being the realtor to help them secure this lease, I filed the appropriate paperwork with the city secretary in order to avoid a conflict of interest, and will be recusing myself from this conversation and vote.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Davis. All right, do I have any discussion? All right. Do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second? All right. All those in favor? All those opposed? And the motion is declined, 0-6. All right. Consideration and possible action to approve a variance to the subdivision ordinance, Chapter 62, Section 62-11, additional street requirements for property located at 7401 Lewis Lane, and authorize the mayor to execute the development agreement.
Again, Jessica's going to address this one as well.
All right.
Would you like me to go over everything that we went over previously during the workshop, just hit some highlights, or would you like me to just reaffirm the recommendation of approval based on the conditions? So staff is recommending approval of this based on conditions. Sorry. Those are the conditions of, recommending approval of the variance request of section 62-111, where one half of the perimeter roadways for Lewis Lane, an unnamed, unimproved 60-foot right-of-way abutting the eastern property line, and Canaan Road by escrowing funds to the city in the amount of construction, which includes design, testing, construction, inspection, other, etc., calculated by the city engineer at the time of tender of escrow funds. The escrow funds shall be due to the city at the time earlier of 1, the 10th anniversary of the approval date of this agreement. 2, upon further subdivision of the property by developer or any successor in interest, if no construction payment has been tendered, then one half of the road will be constructed to the city standards as per subdivision ordinance and design criteria. 3, within 90 days of the city giving notice that it will construct the roadway. 4, upon the occurrence of the abutting property owners along Lewis Lane, an unnamed, unimproved 60-foot right-of-way abutting the eastern property line, Canaan Road, developing or redeveloping the abutting property. Upon such occurrence, developer or any successor in interest may either pay the road construction costs to the city or join in construction of the roadway with the abutting property owners. Or 5, upon sale of the property by developer or any successor in interest, And that concludes my presentation.
All right, thank you for that, Jessica. I think we needed a moment to breathe. And you presented us that. All right. Yes, you may.
I know we have some representatives from the school district with us tonight. I don't know if we just want to hear from them, if they're good with this agreement as stands. Because it was stated during the workshop that, there maybe was some delay or lack of getting feedback before the meeting tonight in regards to the agreement. So I personally have no issues with the agreement whatsoever. Just wanted to give them an opportunity to speak as well.
Mayor and Council, this is the first reading of it anyway, so it has to come back at the next council meeting for a final reading.
I have a question. Is there has there been a consultation with the school district prior to this?
I think that there's been a number of conversations about the development of the property.
Okay. All right, first reading.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to,
I apologize, Bobby was right. I was looking at the ordinance above this. So actually, he's correct. This is a one-time reading of it, so I apologize for that.
Make a motion to table.
I'll second the motion. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. We have consideration and possible action on appointing members to the Building and Standards Commission.
Mayor and council members, you actually have the list in your packet. You can appoint or reappoint these if you wish. If you wished other ones, then you could do that as well. Tammy mentioned it during the workshop. The commission was created in 2013 and has met once since then. So it's not like it's a huge burden, I believe, on the people that were being pointed to it.
Make a motion to approve as recommended.
I'll second.
And could you please read what members those are?
Just a second, let me get to that.
I have it right now.
Okay.
If you would, so we have Mac McElroy, Aaron Bell, Martin Vela, Mark Pauley, David Headley.
Okay. And those are all current serving members. Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? All those opposed? All right, motion carries 7-0. I hesitated because I thought there was an open.
The one that I was thinking about was actually applied to be on the zoning board of adjustment.
As well.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was just kind of, as you could tell, a little stupefied. Okay. So now we have consideration and possible action to direct staff on a proposed amendment to the city sign ordinance regarding political signs.
Thank you, Mayor. As we discussed in the workshop, there could technically be, based off of the language, two different interpretations of it. One interpretation is that if there is a runoff, that it's a continuation of the first election, and that 10-day window to pick up signs does not come to a close. The other interpretation that if you have a runoff, that it's two separate elections, the original election and then the runoff election. Wanted to put this item on here for consideration and discussion to direct staff regarding fine-tuning that language one way or the other. I would be in favor of having staff present to us at our next meeting the fine-tuning of the language to state that it's the continuation of one election to avoid candidates having to come throughout the city and pick up the signs, road signs, yard signs, etc., until the runoff is complete, and then they have that 10-day window as stated within the ordinance. Thank you, Mayor.
you know, as a home rule city, we are certainly governed by what the state allows. But we are also, as a home rule city, able to tighten up some of those things. And I think originally this came from, and I'm before I go on this little tirade, no, not really, but I see the logic in what you're presenting. I'm just going to be a devil's advocate just for the sake of being that devil's advocate. I think that originally we tightened this up because we're not a Pearland. We're not a bigger city yet, and those signs are more clustered, I think is a good word. I also think that having, and I probably, I don't know, Larry might be right up there with me, but I probably run more campaigns than most of you. And I find that after a period of time, they're sort of a fixture. They're not, and Kyle presented this when we were talking, you just kind of don't notice them anymore. They just kind of, blend in. So those were, I think, a couple of items that I just, at playing the devil's advocate, want to throw out there. I do see the logic in what you're presenting, but again, I do know why it was originally put in to tighten it up a little bit and have the signs picked up. So, I mean, it's an extreme example, but you see at the courthouse, Brazoria County courthouse, how they're just clustered all over. That's extreme. I understand that, but we're just not quite one of those big places. On the other hand, do I have a motion to direct staff to tweak some wording and come back to us and see if that's what we want to do?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
All right.
And I'll say,
Okay. All those in favor? All those opposed? And the motion passes 7-0. All right. We have agreed on the consent agenda, and now we are off to executive session. We are going to adjourn at this time at 7:39 to go into executive session, and we will be back as soon as we finish. Thank you very much.
We're not adjourning.
Not adjourning.
We're convening
I
an
know.
executive
Wrong term. We're going to leave. We're going to continue with regular agenda. It is 8:41, and we have number 9. We're out of executive session and taking no action. And we will continue with regular agenda, number 9. But, okay, we'll just go forward. Consideration and possible action to approve ordinance 2022-0-11, an ordinance amending ordinance number 2021-0-29, amending the city fiscal year 2022 budget, ending September 30th, 2022, by amending various budgets to account for mid-year appropriations, for additional revenues and expenditures, directing the budget officer to file or cause to be filed a copy of the amended budget with the city secretary and with the office of the Brazoria County Clerk, and providing this ordinance shall become effective from and after its passage and adoption. And so,
Hello.
hello.
Good evening, Council Mayor. We have some of the budget requests that you made with the 5 positions. We've also added in there the, I believe it was the $40,000 request from Mr. Wilmer for the Friends of the Library Fund. We've moved around some monies that we had in the capital projects line items, most notably the ARPA funds that we received, approximately $1.6 million, which are going to be used for some sewer and water improvements along 1128. And we also have the beautification request for City of Pearland, the additional $15,000 to go with the 10 that we already had budgeted, and we put that in the Parks Department. Be happy to answer any questions you have, but these are all the mid-years that we have.
All right, do we have any questions? Yes, sir?
Okay, so why are we putting that in parks, number one? Number two, that letter that we got last year was actually for last year's assessment. Were they asking for last year and this year, so are we still short money?
I don't believe so.
It was actually just the current year's request.
Okay.
We paid 10,000 of that because that's what we had done in the past. There's an additional 15,000 that the council
Yeah,
is.
but the way I read the letter was from last year, so they were asking for more money for last year, so we didn't have to make up that?
No, because it was based on last year's usage by the citizens.
Okay.
We paid 10,000 in the previous year as well.
And is Parks the best place to put the recycle center?
It was a Keep Pearland Beautiful idea, so the idea was if we were going to have it in something, it would be in the Parks Department. But if we need to put it somewhere else, we can do that.
Yeah, it was a question.
Right, that's it.
All right, anybody else?
If I may, so Pearland previously did cover it for their residents. They had an oversight and a contract with their new trash service provider that they're working to remedy. So right now, Pearland residents are paying for theirs, but the city is looking to remedy that, from my understanding. Keep Pearland Beautiful is reaching out to other cities such as like Santa Fe, Alvin, Dickinson, and others to cover the cost for their residents as well. League City just upped theirs to cover the cost for the League City residents that go to the recycling center.
All right. No other questions? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
Now I'll second that motion.
All those in favor? All those opposed? We have a 6-1 vote. Thank you. All right. Consideration and possible action approving the purchase of real property located at Manvel Block 6, Lot 7 through 8, Manvel, Texas 77578, and Manvel Lot OL92C, Manvel, Texas 77578, and authorize the city manager to execute all documentation needed for the purchase.
We talked about it in an executive session. We'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Okay, you want to amend the motion about, about the contract being? Mm-hmm.
Well, we would, as David mentioned, we would include in the escrow agreement provisions so that if there was something that was unforeseen that needed to be remediated, then we would have the ability to renegotiate the purchase price.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I almost called you a congressman. Councilman Aker
Promoted.
was concerned about that. Okay, all those in favor?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Oh, yeah, that too.
I'll second. I'll second.
All those in favor? Ready to go. All those opposed? All right, we have a 5-2 vote. Consideration and possible action to approve the second and final reading of ordinance 2022-0-09, an ordinance of the city of Manvel, Texas, finding and determining that public convenience and necessity no longer required the continuing existence of 60 feet city right-of-way consisting of approximately .913 acres of land, being the unimproved portion of Oleander Street located between Lewis Lane, improved, and Canaan Road, unimproved, in the city of Manvel, Brazoria County, Texas, vacating, abandoning, and closing said public right-of-way, authorizing the mayor to execute the city secretary to attest, respectfully quitclaim deeds, conveying respective interests in said abandoned right-of-way to the abutting property owners, providing for severability, and containing other provisions relating to the subject. This was forwarded with favorable recommendation by PD&Z 5-0.
And the understanding of the consideration would be 1 acre-foot of floodplain mitigation and detention in the detention pond owned by the school district adjacent to the property.
I'll move to approve.
I second it.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries 7-0. All right, now we have mayor and council comments. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. This Wednesday at the Nolan Ryan Center, the Alvin Manvel Chamber of Commerce is having a candidate forum. We do have a seat that is contested between two candidates that my understanding is both are going to be there, as well as for Alvin City Council. Mr. Hudson's seat is unopposed, and so he'll be serving another 3 years. Congratulations for that. But I believe that they'll also give candidates such as Councilman Hudson an opportunity to speak as well if they're there. So would love to see people out if you have the availability to attend. Thank you, Mayor. This is Nolan Ryan Center. Yeah. Yes, sir. So newly renovated. They've been touting it for a while now.
Very nice.
Thank you, Mayor.
Well, it looks better, just to let you know. All right, and I'd like to mention that the Business Expo and Taste of the Town is going to be Thursday, April 21st, just in case you need a little head start. Mark your calendars from 2 to 7. We also would like to have some council commitments to man the booth for Manvel, the city of Manvel. And MEDC has voted in favor to support us having this booth. And so it would be nice if you would give Tammy a call April 21st from 2 to 7. And so if you could give Tammy a call and let her know when you're available. And we have members of MEDC that are also wanting to help serve. So get your time slot while they're still available. And it would be nice to have any and all present at some juncture in there to sell the city of Manvel. Anybody else? Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? And we are out of here.